Is this house haunted? People were just too timid. At least that's what Jack thought. With a look of utter disdain, he moved his family of 4 into the infamous haunted house everyone was afraid of. But the moment Emma stepped through the door, she knew something was off. The eerie atmosphere sent shivers down her spine, making her second-guess their decision. Jack, however, dismissed her fears, insisting, "This place is so cheap. It's practically made for us." Later, Emma wandered into the basement and noticed 2 deep claw marks on the floor, marks left by the house's previous owner. Unbeknownst to the family, this house had a dark past. A couple and their child had been murdered here. As Emma took in the unsettling scene, she spotted a motionless crow on the ground. Assuming it was dead, she grabbed a stick, intending to push it outside. But just as she reached for it, the crow suddenly sprang to life. Meanwhile, upstairs, Ruth, who was tidying up, experienced something equally disturbing. As she lifted the blanket, a pair of ghostly pale legs appeared underneath. Ruth didn't notice, but her young son did. Being just a child, he didn't understand what he was seeing. Instead, he simply stared at the ceiling and giggled. Ruth brushed it off as just another one of his odd little quirks and continued cleaning. That night, Jack heard the sound of children playing. When he checked on his son, he found the boy darting around the room as if someone was playing with him. But when Jack stepped inside, the room was empty. His son continued dancing and waving his arms at nothing, his movements unsettlingly strange. Without hesitation, Jack switched on the lights and quickly carried his son back to bed. The next day, Jack and Emma went into town to visit a general store. Jack had a plan. He wanted to plant sunflowers on their property and make some extra cash selling seeds next year. But when they got home and Jack opened the trunk to unload the supplies, a massive flock of crows suddenly swarmed the car, aggressively devouring the seeds. These crows weren't just scavengers. They were vicious, attacking anything that moved. Jack grabbed a few rocks and threw them to scare the birds away. But within moments, the crows regrouped, returning in even greater numbers, launching a coordinated attack. Just as Jack was running out of options, a gunshot rang out. A man fired several rounds, finally driving the birds away. That gunshot marked the beginning of the family's nightmare.